And now, Director Watanabe.
Thank you very much.
So again, thank you so much for coming and sharing your great new film with us.
Thank you.
So to begin with, I'd just like to ask, from your own personal experience, I know you're an actor as well as a director. Do comedians live happy lives in general?
Well, if they get popular, if they're successful, yes.
Okay. So happiness is somewhat dependent on success in that way for comedians.
Yes, I would say so.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how the film began, how the story of the film began for you, how you kind of came up with this initial premise of a manzai comedy duo who loses its funny man. Because it's a premise that could go in many directions, I think.
もともとは、死、です死からの再生ですね。リスタート、リビギニングの話を作ろうと思ってたんですね。ちょうど僕の周りで人が案外死んで、いとこですとか知り合いの俳優さんとか亡くなられて、悲しくて泣くわけですよ。お葬式とかお通夜で。だけど控室に戻ると個人のあいつあんなバカなことやってたよねとかそういうことで笑いもあるわけじゃないですか。泣くだけじゃなくて笑いもあるっていうのがずっと僕の中で実感としてあったんですよ。それでそういう話を作りたいなと思ってて、でそれでもし笑いをやるんだったらもういっそのことコメディアンを主人公にしちゃえというところから始まりました。
So originally, it began as I wanted to write a story about death, and I interpret death as rebirth and also a new beginning. And also at the time, there are a few people that was close to me that passed away, my relative and some actors that I knew. And of course, when I attended their wake and their funeral, we would all cry. But at the same time, we would remember different anecdotes about the person, and we would also laugh. So it wasn't just crying, but there were also a laughter involved. And I was very aware of that, and I wanted to make that into a story. And I thought, if I was going to make laughter a part of this film, why not have a comedian be the protagonist?
In the film, you do such a wonderful job of blending tones with comedy as well as tragedy. And in many ways, these kind of elements undercut each other from scene to scene in a way that's very entertaining, but it leads you to some really deep kind of emotional depths, as well as reaching kind of funny emotional highs. And I'm wondering how you approach this both in screenwriting as well as with the actors.
もともとその悲劇と笑いってすごくマッチするんですよね。
So I believe that tragedy and comedy go very well together. They match.
やっぱりいい映画っていうのは涙と笑いって昔から言われてるんですけれども、なんで
So they always say from the past that a good film is supposed to bring you both tears and make you laugh.
バランスがいいかどうかちょっと僕自身では判断できないですけれども、作ってて思ったのはただ笑うだけただ涙が泣くだけの映画にはしたくないというのがあって、ものすごく面白いシーンでも不気味な音楽を入れたりして笑いに抑制を入れて作ったっていうのはありますね。
So I'm not sure if I was able to maintain a good balance between the comedy and tragedy myself, but I knew that I did not want to make a film that just makes you laugh or just makes you cry. Even in the comedic scene, it was very important to me to insert a sort of a more somber music to sort of undercut the comedy and so on.
Now, I think many Japan Cuts audiences will be familiar with the actor Tomoya Maeno, who plays the role of Unno in the film. He appears in many independent comedies, often as a kind of funny best friend or comic relief in an otherwise dramatic story. And I'd never really taken notice of him as a performer, but I think you really find something and develop something within him as an actor that comes out in this character that's really quite special. And I wonder how you both formed this character and fitted Maeno for the role.
前野さんは初めて仕事をしたんですけれども、すごいフォトジェニックなんですよね。
So this was my first time working with Mr. Maeno, and I would say he's very photogenic.
だから彼が歌をフルコーラス歌うシーンなんて僕はものすごい好きなシーンで、もう見とれちゃうんですよね。
So in that scene when he sings with the full chorus behind him and he's singing the blues song, when I was behind the camera, I would just be in awe of him. I would just admire him from afar.
それでもう一人の森岡君っていう人は高校生の頃に漫才をやってたんですよ。
So the other actor, Mr. Morioka, he used to be a manzai comedian when he was in high school.
それで彼と森岡君と前野君っていうのは同じ事務所なんですよ。プロダクションが同じなんで、それでやっぱりプライベートでも仲がいいですよ。そうするとやっぱり映画にも映ってるようにものすごく息が合ってるんですね、その漫才のシーンなんかでは。それが全然違う事務所だったら多分こうはうまくいかなかったんじゃないかなと思います。
So, and both Morioka and Maeno, they actually belong to the same agency, and they have a great relationship outside of work as well. So they have a great chemistry together, and I think it was because of their background and being such great friends that they were able to bring in such great chemistry and energy to all the manzai comedy stand-up scenes.
And I understand that you are involved in some comedy writing as well from manzai performances involving some of the performers from the film itself. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how this has kind of expanded from Emi-Abi.
この映画のために漫才のネタは10本ぐらいを書いてるんですよね。10本ぐらい書いて、それと個人BMW ですとか、そういうもうしょうもないピン芸のギャグももっと書いてるから20本ぐらいそれも書いてて、すごい難しいですね。漫才のスクリプトっていうのはすごい難しいんですけど、森岡君と前野君だから今回はできた漫才だと思ってます。それで彼らは今度テレビの漫才グランプリ本物にチャレンジすること決まって、それ用のネタも一つ書きました。それでそれが勝ち進むとさらにもう一個ぐらい書かなきゃいけない感じですね。
So, in terms of all the routines that you saw in the film, I wrote about 10 routines for this film, including the BMW joke with the facial expression and so on. I think all total I wrote about 20 or so, but writing the script, the routines for about manzai comedy is so difficult, and I think it was only because I had these two actors, Mr. Morioka and Mr. Maeno, only they could have done these routines. And these two are actually going to be competing in a television Grand Prix comedy competition. And I wrote one routine for them for this competition. And if they go through the ranks, I will have to write more for them.
Great. Maybe at this point we can gather some questions from the audience. If you have any questions for Director Watanabe, just raise your hand and a microphone will come to you. Let's see. Do we have any more questions?
Come on.
I see one right here from Christina. Silly is good.
Okay, now I have to remember how to do that hand gesture. In one of the routines at the beginning, he comes on and he goes like this. So I need to know how to do that because that has to be part of my everyday life.
I'm not sure if I remember. I don't remember.
I can give it a try.
Do you remember, Joe?
I
あ、でももっと難しいのがありましたよね。
じゃじゃじゃじゃ
All right, great. Any more questions from the audience? I see a hand right here on the left.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that you were, I guess, in a sense, writing these routines for the two of them. And I'm wondering, since they had a relationship preceding the film and you were writing with them in mind, did they wind up kind of surprising you with how maybe the jokes that you thought would work for them didn't work? And then did you let them kind of improvise at all and participate in the writing?
最初はキャスティングが決まってなかったんで、もう文章だけで書いてたんですね。だけどやっぱり文章だけだとこういうコメディって絶対成立しないんですね。それで彼ら2人がキャスティング決まってから彼らを前提にその 2枚目キャラとなんだろうちょっと可愛らしいブサイクなキャラクターっていうまずキャラ作りから始めるんですよね。それが決まってからようやくネタができたって感じで、僕が最初に書いてからはあともう3人でディテールは話し合って決めていきました。
So while I was first writing the jokes, I actually didn't have any of the actors already set up for these roles. So I was just writing sentences, just writing words. But it's very hard to establish comedy just with words. But once I had the two actors, I always kept them in mind as I wrote them. I wrote the jokes and the routines. And we had to establish the characters first. One would be this handsome guy, and his partner is this ugly, cute character. So establishing those two characters were very key into writing the routines and the actual comedies. And once I wrote the routines, all three of us would work out the finer details together.
Great. Any more questions? Let's see. I have a question. I'm interested in the character of Hinako and the kind of insertion of this romantic element, and you kind of use the type of manzai duo to also speak to a kind of loving relationship between two people, and I'm kind of touched by not only the friendship that's lost in losing the funny man in the half of this manzai duo, but also this couple that emerges by the end of the film. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the kind of supernatural form that the couple ends up taking.
案外あれから考えついたというところはありますね。まず最初にあれをやろうっていう思ってて。
So in regards to that supernatural sort of scene that happens to Maeno's character, I always had that in mind. I had that written up first, so I think the relationship developed from that.
愛の力があればあれぐらいできるんじゃないですかね。
So I knew that the power of love would make even that supernatural occurrence possible.
And I think what really stuck with me the first time I watched it was the way that the film doesn't really seem to care in some ways about fantasy and reality in the very traumatic scene of this couple being attacked in their car, in this very funny but also frightening way that Unno gets out of this. But by the end of the film, I'm still left with questions about how he physically is able to accomplish this act. And does it matter to you what is real and what is not real in this moment?
Of course.
So it seems like he does have a certain kind of magical power.
Yes.
It's good to confirm that. All right. Great, great, great. Well, I think we're beginning to run out of time, but we have a question up here. If we could bring the mic down to the front.
Near the end, and I wondered the same thing that Hinako wondered. And why did Kurosawa change his opinion on the vulgar jokes?
お笑いの人って多分そのプライドなんかよりも笑わせられたら勝ちみたいなところがあると思うんですよね。だからもう彼はリズムネタ実動のロックロールライフルをこうバカにしながら自分でエアロビやるわけじゃないですか。なんかもう口ではそう言うけど実際やるのはもう笑わせることだけっていう感じですね。
So I think when it comes to comedians, the ability to make or the desire to make their audience laugh wins over any sort of pride that they have. As long as they can make the audience laugh, they win. So even the character Jitsudo in the film, he was very against doing this aerobicized movements with the rock and roll life. He was making fun of that, and he said he wouldn't do it, but in the end he did. So I think it all comes down to being able to make the audience laugh.
Do we have any more questions before we wind up? We have one up in the back.
Hi. Have you ever gotten out of a sticky situation with making someone laugh?
Wait, can you repeat?
Have you ever gotten
There are 3 instances in the movie where you have to have someone make them laugh. Have you ever done that in your own life?
危ないところには行きません。
I don't get into those situations. I don't go to dangerous places.
Okay, that's smart.
スマートですね。賢明ですね、それは。
Any more questions? I have one more, but I want to give you the opportunity here.
Are those 3 situations that somebody mentioned, when they get out of these tough or tragic or scary situations by making somebody laugh, is that to be taken like something literal, or is it just a sort of a metaphor, or do you think making people laugh can really save you?
多分統計取ってないからわからないですけれども、人間って多分1日1回ぐらい笑ってると思うんですよね。その1日今日は笑わなかったっていう日はあんまりないと思うんですよ。それぐらい笑いっていうのは日常に根付いていて、人間が必要としているものだと思うんですね。だから人を殴るって基本ほとんどないじゃないですか。暴力で何かを解決するっていうのは多分ものすごい非日常なことなんですよ。だけど笑うっていうことはすごい日常的なことで、そういうのこそが一番パワーを持ってるんじゃないかなと僕は思います。
So it's not as if I took a scientific survey on this, so I wouldn't know. But I believe that we as human beings laugh at least once per day. And I think laughter is something that's very much rooted in our everyday life, and it's a necessity for us. It's very rarely the case that we strike someone, or we hit someone, or solve something through violence. But laughter is very much something that exists in our everyday life, and I think something that common is filled with power, and that's what I believe.
Great. Before I ask my final question, does anyone have a last question from the audience? George?
It was very interesting to see, in a cultural way, differences and similarities to like American culture. This kind of comedy I think exists here through vaudeville and old theater, and I know in Japan it's something that goes very, very far back also. Is there something you wanted to tell people about manzai? Like, what is your experience with manzai when you were growing up? And what did you want to tell people through this film about this kind of comedy?
今回ジャパンカッツに招待されてすごく不安だったのは、その日本のお笑いの文化を知らない方々がこれを見てどう思うのかっていうのはちょっとナーバスになってはいたんですね。その中に漫才も入っているんですけど、例えば漫才であったりハリセンっていうんですよ。はるちゃんがバーンバーンって叩くあれとか、たらいあれとかもものすごいトラディショナルなジャパニーズコメディなんですよ。でそういうのを知っている我々からすると面白いんだけど、知らない皆さんがどう思うかっていうのはものすごい楽しみでして、その中の一つとしては漫才。多分日本でお笑いを目指す人はみんな漫才から始めると思うんで、そういうところはちょっと見てもらいたいというか、作りたかったですね、なんか狙いとしては。
So when I was invited to Japan Cuts to screen this film, I did worry about how this very Japanese comedy owarai would be accepted by an international audience, and I was quite nervous about how stand-up comedy manzai would be accepted as well. And I think you saw the scene where the manager brings over this big paper fan that's called harisen, and she strikes him with it, and that's part of a very traditional form of Japanese comedy. So most Japanese audiences would be quite familiar with that, but I'm sure not so in an international setting. But I did wanted to present how that all comedians in Japan, when they get into the world of comedy, they always start with the stand-up comedy manzai, and I wanted to showcase that.
Great. And now to begin to wrap things up, I just want to ask, if you could, what are you working on now? You're involved in so many different creative projects and entertainment, as you mentioned, this possible manzai routine creation, award-winning screenplays, award-winning films, as a director. Could you give us a hint of what's next?
もうオリジナルのシナリオが何本かありまして、それができたらいいなと思ってはいます。それとは別に違うのもこれから書き始める予定がありまして、書き上げているのは一つはそのラブコメディ、もう一つはバイオレンスブラザースものはもう2本できてます。
So I've already written a few original screenplays, and I hope that can be set up as movies. And I also have plans to write more. But I will say that of the screenplays that I've already written, one is a romantic comedy, and the other one is a more violent brothers type of movie.
Okay, well, we look forward to hopefully seeing them at Japan Cut sometime in the near future, as well as welcoming you back, Director Watanabe. If we could give another warm round of applause for our guest.
Thank you so much.